Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm back. And I'm busy. I'm busy. Let me show you what I'm doing. Let me show you what I'm doing. Nelson just put his paw on me. I am doing this. Yeah, so I'm looking at RIVN. RIVN. And I'm holding on to it past the 15 minutes that I usually allot myself because this particular cell was co-signed by their computer. Now their computer does well. Their computer does well because I selected two tickers, two stocks. I also did OPTX, and it started off crashing. Started off going down, and I was like, well, their computer chose it, so I'm gonna hold on for a little bit longer. So I held on for a little bit longer, and then I sold it as soon as it crossed into the green zone because I gotta focus on one stock. That's my deal. Like I gotta get one out the way so I can focus on one. So I'm relearning that lesson. So this is the one I'm choosing to focus on. See, you see right over here. Can you see my mouse? I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this is it. Can I make this bigger? No, but I got in at the top of this red candle, so I'm waiting for these two green candles to catch up, and then I'll sell. And the reason why, once again, I've held on past my 15-minute closure is because their computer Ozark selected the company. I froze right there because I was thinking, I hope you know who I'm talking about. This is Tim Sykes, and they have a computer. One of his students actually created this computer, and he created this computer, and yeah, and it just predicts things. That's it. Basically, it predicts things. Oh, it's getting close. All right, so I'm gonna hold both of these open. As you see, I was supposed to have Marko on, but I guess something got him tied up. So let's just get into it. Happy birthday to me! Let me find some fireworks. Let me get some fireworks. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. But happy birthday to me. My birthday was actually on the 24th. That was a couple days ago, and I've been showing parts of my life that have been really special. I showed both of my sermons, one on my birthday and then two on my second birthday. And yeah, and that's what we're doing. I wanted to show some more too, but I had to get in to tell you guys what happened. I got in to my dad and stepmom's church. I stood up and I went down and I testified in front of the church. And oh my goodness. I mean, First of all, I remembered something that I hadn't remembered before. Something about their preacher saying something. There's Marko. But saying something got me fired up, and so I went down and I went and spoke to him, and they loved me. They loved me. They gave me so much hype. Like I had to stand outside. And try to catch my breath because I was so overwhelmed by the love that they gave me. So anyway, let's get Marko in the chat. Here we go. What's up, Marko?
Apologies for being a little bit delayed.
Oh no, you good, bro. Glad we got you.
Yeah.
So I guess is Melissa saying Marko's coming. Marko's coming. Yeah. All right, so I guess let's talk about our birthdays because your birthday is one day before my birthday. So
right.
talk about your birthday first. Let's go. Let's see what's happening.
Uh,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, you know what's happening right here? What's happening
what?
over here? This
The,
chart.
no. I
Oh,
came in and just saw the chart and heard you talking about how you had to speak to folks and they loved you, which is natural.
oh, thank you. So what I'm doing on the chart right here is I'm charting something that just got equal. By the way, look, see how the green matches the red.
Right?
Yeah, so it just got equal. And so now all I need to do to go up a little more, and then I'm gonna sell. Then I'm gonna sell. As soon as it gets up a little more, I'm gonna sell. So this is
Got you.
RIVN. It's this new stock. I don't even know what it stands for, but this was crazy because I usually give myself 15 minutes to sell. 15 minutes, that's it. So now I'm going way past my 15 minutes because their computer selected it. Their computer, this Timothy Sykes, one of his students created this computer that goes through all the algorithms and comes up with this. And so this is exciting because I would have sold it. If it hadn't been for that computer, I would have sold it because of the red going straight down. But now
Right.
now it's even keel. It's even keel. Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. All right, sorry, I got excited. So, so tell me about your birthday, bro. What
um,
you
it,
what
it,
you want to say?
it was pleasantly quiet. It was, it is, all birthdays are important. All birthdays, are and should be your personal holiday. It, it,
Mm,
it happened that my birthday this year fell on a Sunday. So already, there's not a lot to do, or you can, use Sunday as a relaxing, chill day, no work and all that. But it
mm,
was even more, and my birthday is my birthday can be fluid, so I can celebrate for a day, a week, a month, or because my birthday falls in the beginning of summer, I can celebrate all summer.
oh
So
wow.
I'm in between right now in terms of how long the celebration will last. But I'm still enjoying this birthday season,
Mm,
and you know over the last 12 years, 11, 12 years, I've come to appreciate it even more, because of what you and I have gone through in terms of surviving a stroke. It makes you appreciate, or at least it makes me appreciate birthdays even more.
oh
you know
yeah.
it's, it's a
Oh
second
yeah.
it's a second it's a second chance at life. It's a second,
Yeah.
it's kind of a renewal. So
Yeah.
I definitely use that. It makes you look at things a little bit differently.
Mm. What is your renewal birthday? Because I recognize mine is July 14th. That's my secondary birthday, the day I survived the stroke. What's your
Right.
renewal birthday?
See, and I heard you talking about this with Fee last week,
Mm.
and I've never looked at that as a renewal birthday. I
Oh
always think
wow.
about the day I suffered the stroke, and which was January 30th,
Mm,
2011. So I always, that's always on my mind.
mm,
Thank you, Fee. um but I never think of that as a renewal birthday. It's, my birthday is still my birthday.
mm,
um that day is obviously a marked differentiator in my life. you
mm,
know but I've never thought of the renewal birthday. But like I said, I heard you and Fee talking about it
yeah.
last week, and it is, and I can certainly see that. I can
Yeah.
certainly see that as, because at that point your life changes drastically, and you have to, you know, make your determination of how you live the rest of your life from that point. So that
Mm,
is, that is like another, can be another birthday. I just hadn't looked at it that way.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know how it happened, but I was still in Nashville, and I don't know what happened, but I just the everything that happened to me that day got soaked into me. I was like, man, I survived this, I survived that, and all the memories came flooding back. Just that day just filled me, and so that's what I've decided to do to celebrate it as my what do I call it? Retribution. What did you just say?
Renewal.
Renewal. Thank you. My renewal birthday. So I'm going to try to do a run this year. I'm gonna try to do a run, and no, I run every day, but have a group of people run this July 14th. I want to try to get a group of people together in Prospect Park and run, and
Mm.
just a mile, and run, walk, however you want to do it. But that's what I think I would like to happen for my birthday, for my secondary
Okay.
birthday.
That's a good one. I mean, it does. I think, I mean, you look at it as a renewal birthday. You've heard me say I look at not necessarily the date, but everything after as,
Mm.
how you become differently able. In your case, you've become differently able. You still run even though it may cause you pain. But it's a differently. You do it differently.
Yeah, let me
It's
talk
not.
about that for a second. Because I just finished my run. And I did not say anything to Fee. But she was like, "Let's go, Sekou." And I was like, I literally went out there and I said, "I'm gonna run with you till I get to the corner, and I'm gonna come back." That's what I was thinking. Then I got to the corner and I was like, maybe I'll go a little bit further. And I went a little bit further, and I ended up doing the whole run with her. And she was trying to get me to go ahead and run without her. I was like, no, no, no. Well, anyway, what I wanted to say is, this whole morning, my right side was killing me. My right side
Mm,
was killing me. And I was like, and then when I was running, I could hear myself because my right leg drags on the cement. So
mm-hmm.
it was going, and I couldn't get my leg up high enough. And I was like, oh my God, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. But I hung in there, man. I hung in there. I didn't tell her, but I hung in there and I made it. So I can attest to what your mind can get you through if you just keep the goal. If you keep the goal present, it'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
So I commend her.
Nah, I mean, absolutely. For me, what was apparent to me, and not as much now, but still to a degree, is how. And I don't know if you noticed this, but you become a little bit more sensitive to how people see you and view you because now you're you may have to walk different, you may have to
Yeah,
talk different, you may
yeah,
have to um and that puts and then even little things where you're filling out applications for stuff and you have to check off whether you're disabled. I never liked the idea of checking off being disabled.
mm-hmm.
So, and somebody said to me, and I've said this before, somebody mentioned to me that you're differently able. And
Mm,
I was like, and that stuck with me. It's like, and he's someone who had, he had been in the military, he had been in the war, he'd lost part of his arm, and that was, his thing. He was differently able, and I've continued to use that, and that helps me get through, different things. So, so I don't have to view myself as I can't do or I'm disabled or there's anything about me. It's
mm,
it's just different. I just
mm,
have to move different and function different, and there's a process that we all have to get to, and then when you look at people who may be paraplegic and they're still driving cars or
yeah,
whatever, it's like there are things that you can do, like you said, if your mind can get you through stuff. So there's different things you can figure out how to work through if you're willing to do it, and if
yeah,
if it's something that's really important to you.
yeah. Co-sign on what you just said. Free King started me out for saying that too. What your mind will get you through. What your mind will get you through. Ashe. And yeah, what you said about, you know, I forget the word you used, but for me, it's hiding myself from other people because I feel like I am differently abled. Like and I think differently too. And so I'm
Hmm.
trying to like trying to trying to balance me hanging with other people and it's been just fallen by the wayside. This has been fallen by the wayside. So there's one group of guys that we hang out, and they reached out to me like, "Oh, let's do something for your birthday." I was like, "Oh no," right? Because I feel a little different. Because when I went out with them last time, I was like, I didn't know how to be. I was distracted by so many things in the restaurant. It just my um my my things were too my antennas were like buzzing around everything, and I was like, I gotta go, and I had to get up and go outside for a minute, and I didn't tell them I was going outside, but I went like I was going to the bathroom, but I had to get outside and just like let it breathe for a second.
Yeah.
So I'm catching things that I wouldn't normally catch in my antenna. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I definitely went through that. You've met some of my guys that I hang out
yeah.
with, they were in my wedding or whatever. And we're all very social. So I certainly went through some of that. As a matter of fact, it was the summer after, I think, I had
Mm,
this stroke. A friend of ours, one of who we call the sister in the crew, got married. And
mm,
so we went to the wedding,
mm,
and went out, it was in Atlanta, so there was the travel involved. It was the hangout involved, but then adjusting to being in a bar, and not so much my antennas being up, but then having to understand your body. Like I was still
mm,
gaining strength, in my left side. So you
mm.
stand for a long enough time at the bar, your legs start shaking a little bit.
Yes,
You,
yes,
it's kind of like,
yes.
oh,
I
I
go,
was like,
okay,
this is gonna be a problem if I don't sit down,
right,
But then adjusting to your people say, oh, you need to sit down, you need to sit down, you need to sit down. It's like I don't need to sit down all the time, but when I
yeah,
do, and then adjusting to myself, saying, okay, accept it. Don't think of it. They're trying to help,
right,
and they're trying to treat you like nothing's happened.
right.
And that was that is a big help to have people around you to see you still as you, and be able to have understand the difference. Like you are different, but you're still you. you
Mm,
know be able to have that balance, and I've been blessed, I think, to have that balance of the people around me. And then because there are some times where people, I in my head I have to kind of push things off. Like I may be in a work situation, and somebody I'm working with was, or the person that is quote unquote the boss of the organization may say, "Hey, I need you now. Come here, come here, come here." And in my head, it's like I'm gonna get there when I get there.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there is no rushing. There is no, that's all a part of it. But it's a journey to kind of understand,
Mm,
you know, the differently able pieces of it. That some
yeah.
people, like one of the things I've noticed greatly, and I'm rambling, so I
No, no, go
apologize.
ahead, very good.
One of the things that's interesting, especially now, like about 3 years in and on up to now, there
Mm,
are still people who may not have seen me for a long time, or seen me long enough that they've forgotten, or the time is blurred,
mm,
and they'll say, "What happened to you?" And it's kind
wow,
of like, oh, you don't know.
right.
Like, because I start functioning like, if I don't tell anybody, then nobody's gonna notice what's going on
Mm,
or what's happened with me.
mm,
And then sometimes people will say, well, yeah, what happened? Well, they'll ask people around me, and they say, oh, well, you don't know, Marko had a stroke. And they're like, oh, he's doing great, or he looks good, or whatever.
mm,
Because I'm not gonna address it publicly anymore. If you ask
mm,
me, I'll tell you what happened, but I'm not going to just give you the the option to say, "Oh, you had a stroke, and are you okay, or you need something." I'm not going to give you that option
yeah,
to then do the disabled thing,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, because
yeah,
I'm differently able. It's like I'm going to do everything. It's just going to be a little different or look a little different.
yeah. That is why what you just said is why I ran the marathon. That's
Hmm.
why, because I'd never done a marathon before, but I did it because I was getting all this disabled kind of stuff kind of coming towards me, and I had to shift the conversation that people were having about me to something else. And all I could think of then was, I'm gonna run a marathon. And then that shifted the conversation to, boy, he going being a marathon, he needs to stop what he's doing. So it shifted twice. Like it shifted from he's disabled to he's gonna run the marathon. He can't run the marathon till finally I finished the marathon, and then the conversation about me changed. It was doing something that strong that took me out of people's conversations in that way, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for you, it was kind of more immediate because you took that immediate bold step. For me, it was probably more over time to to kind of show action and be like my bold action was not really addressing it, unless you asked me, and it was no, and I will freely say, yeah, I had a stroke and this is what happened, and whatever information you need to know or choose to ask. But if you're just seeing me, you're just gonna, like one of my best friend's son, who he'll walk around and say, "Hey, Uncle Marko," or whatever. But every so often he'll be like, "So why do you walk like that?" And he's 8. And it's the beauty of kids, because they're super honest. It's like, why do you walk like
Right,
that? The other day he was like, so why is your arm like that? It's like, well, remember what I told you about my leg and the stroke, and it's all related. He's looking like, oh, and then he goes about his business. I know at some point he'll come back and ask again, which is the beauty of it, because it's pure. And then because adults, we start getting mean as teenagers, as we go as kids, and then adults, is a subliminal stuff that they'll do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're not gonna say it, but it's gonna show in your face or in your body language or in your actions. And it's kind of, I'm not gonna give you that opportunity necessarily. We're gonna still be equals, and even more so, I've been able to work around something that a lot of people can't.
Right. Yeah. What that made me think of was well, me. I spoke to a church this weekend because I was in Boston. I was in Boston for my birthday. Shout out to my pops and my stepmom for putting me up, giving me a great time. And I went to their church and I spoke to their church because I wanted to thank them for supporting my parents and them supporting me. But there was something about what their pastor said that really got me and made me think of something else. So I started thinking about my wheelchair, because when I first got hit with stroke, they kept me in a wheelchair and they moved me around. They guided me around in a wheelchair. And I remember this one time they drove me around on a wheelchair and I saw all these other rooms of people in wheelchairs. That's all they were doing, was riding in those wheelchairs. And I was like, all right, I got to get out of this wheelchair. I got to get out of this wheelchair. And I couldn't talk to anyone because my speech wasn't, it was terrible. I couldn't speak to anyone. And so I just decided for myself that I was going to start hiding the wheelchair. So I started hiding the wheelchair, and then they brought me a cane, and I started hiding the cane. But that resulted in them walking me very hard around the building, and that was hard. That was hard. And so what I'm saying is, like, people at the church thought that I was fine because you can't see my affliction. People keep looking at me and they think I'm fine. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm feeling it right now. Feeling it right now as I stand up in front of the church. But they stood up. They gave me a standing ovation, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And then when I left, I went outside, and all these people kept coming up to me. All these people kept coming up to me, and they said, if I can summarize, they kept saying, that they thought they were up against something. They thought they were up against something. But now, after hearing my testimony of what I was up against and being able to come through to the other side, then I've blown away whatever it was that they were going through, and that really moved me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, nah, I mean it should. I mean, because and the funny thing is, everybody has that. They may not relate to it in the same way. It's certainly more affecting to you when you have when half of you is paralyzed and you have
Yeah,
to learn to walk again. It's
yeah,
funny. You're when I had my stroke, I was in the wheelchair, all the time as well. Um,
yeah.
and at the beginning, the very very beginning, when they first started, trying to help me walk, I was like, oh, I can get up and stand and walk, and I tried that beside the bed, fell over, and it was like, yeah, you not, we're gonna put the little bracelet on you, make sure
Wow,
everybody knows you a fall risk, you ain't
wow.
walking around. So by the time I got to rehab and I had the wheelchair, it was like, I'm getting that wheelchair, but I'm rolling up and down the halls. I'm going to that little computer room.
Right.
So I wasn't getting up and walking like you, but I was gonna be active. And for
Yeah.
me, doing radio, being able to talk and being able to be, as clear as I can was important. So I guess your running is me talking, being able to do radio and all of
Mm,
that. So for me, that was the thing that really came back, thankfully.
mm,
Um, though,
yeah.
and maybe if I had hit my wheelchair or hit the can and they walked me around, maybe I'd be walking like you, you know. but I, and
I
I think
know.
it's different ways for us to handle, how we are going to be differently able. It's different
Yeah,
ways for us to look at, coming through and being functional, and everybody has to look at what that is for them.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting you say that because I had amnesia too. So I didn't
Hmm.
know who these people were, how I ended up in this place. All I knew was the one thing that I attached myself to was I didn't want to stay in that wheelchair because I had seen so many of my roommates be
Hmm.
stuck in that chair. And I was like, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. So you say getting up, but man, that was tough. It was
Hmm.
tough. Like I remember this one Asian woman, she got me up. She's like, "Where's your cane?" And I was like, I couldn't talk, right? I was like, and she was like, "So no cane?" I was like, "Mm." And she made me walk. She put all the straps on me, all the like the harness, like a baby harness, like all
Right.
the stuff on me. And she walked me around. And just one lap around the building, I thought I was going about to die, man. I thought I was about to die.
Yeah, that those first walks. I remember those first walks. Even coming home and having, version of visiting nurse services come home that start doing therapy with me. Those first walks, I remember they walked me down the block and back. Yeah, I was like, ooh, this is something here. I was
Yeah.
like, I felt like I just run a marathon. I was
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. And when you talk about being home, I tried it on my own because I was like, she walk me around the building, I'll be fine. Man, I made it. I made it past the first building. I was like, uh-oh. My legs started shaking. I started trying to reach for walls. I barely made it back to the house, and then I laid in the bed for the rest of the day. I was like, oh, I'm just so tired, boy. That was
yeah,
that
man.
was enough. That was enough. Yeah. All right, man. We completely blew our time. We completely blew our time. But we're gonna have to have you back, man, and keep talking about it because
Absolutely.
yeah, we got some good stuff. Here's a shout out to your comment before. Powerful, you are different, but you are still you. You are still you. Ashe, Ashe,
Yes, yes.
Ashe. All right, bro. So thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. And remember
Absolutely.
that
Thank you for
now.
having me. Happy birthday again.
Yeah, thanks. Happy birthday to you again. Happy birthday to
Yes.
you again. Ashe.
Yes.
And Thanks for being here.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, later.